That time many moons ago when men were men in cars or bicycles and a pansy was the name of a flower. We lived in a small village called Ballyhommaduchamushry. In fact, it was so small we used to take it in when it rained. The village was good, it was a strong village, and people used to live till ages of 100, 110, 150. By Jay's way to shoot some of them to get the better of them. But there was a friend of mine, Mickey Con Mike, the tightest fucker ever to cut turf. He passed away. And his wife Mara, the finest woman ever to cut ham. And they waked him inside in the house, you see. And whatever way I went in to give my condolences to Mara. I said, Mara, sorry for your trouble. But whatever way I looked inside in the coffin, had Mickey Con a big smile up in his face. I said, Mara, can I ask you a question? She says, you can, Paddy. She said, he just has a big smile on his face in the coffin. She said, that's because he died in his sleep. He doesn't know he's dead yet. He's dreaming he's still alive. I said, Mara, what'll happen when he wakes up and finds out he's dead? She says, I know, the shock will kill him. When Mikey Con was the tightest fucker ever to cut turf, and I remember Mara didn't mind that, you see. What she used to hate was that he used to go down to mass every Sunday with the same old pair of Wellington boots, you see. And she wanted him and begged him every week, would he buy a new pair? So he waited until the 16th of August, which is the fair day below in Kinmare, and he got the cheapest pair of Wellington boots he could buy, which was a pair of yellow pinstripe welly boots, you see. Now, there were certain things not happening in a certain room in the house. They'd been married a few years and there was nothing happening, if you know what I mean. But Mara didn't mind, she was only concerned about the boots. So anyway, that night, and didn't he come back and he scuffled up the road, just see, he was delighted with his purchase and he had the boots, and she saw him. She says, I'll take no notice now. So in comes Mickey Con, need the boots, and he's kind of showing them off like this way and that way. She says, I'm going to bed anyway, she says. Jesus Christ almighty, he says, did she not notice me bloody brand new welly boots? So he followed her into the bedroom anyway, and he went, and she's sitting up in the bed, and he stripped off naked. Balls naked, except for the pair of Wellington boots just there. And he said, Mara, did you notice anything? She says, what? He says, isn't my penis pointing down to my brand new pair of Wellington boots? She says, 'tis a pity you didn't get a yellow cap. But I remember the day that I'll never forget the day that Mickey Con got the pension, you see, and he headed off into Tralee for the pension. And he had no mode of transport, you see. And it was one of them days where you had to take a ticket, you know, the days before, where you kind of guess who was next, you see. Before the tickets now, you see, and you know your number, but back in those days it was who was next and you kind of guess. So Mickey Con made his way into the old office for the pension, you see. And there was a woman inside, she was one of them new age travellers, and she was breastfeeding the child, you see, inside. Mickey Con was breastfed, they were so poor, he was breastfed by his gran. He'd never seen a pair of them before, you see. And he didn't know which way to look, you see. He was looking left and he was looking right, and he was looking left and he was looking right. And herself says to him, she says, I think you're next. Jesus Christ, says Mickey Con, I'll never read all that. Next thing anyway, he was called in Michael Cornelius Fitzpatrick O'Sullivan. So in comes Mickey Con, she goes, what are you here from, Michael Con? He says, I'm here to collect the pension. She says, have you any identification? He says, I don't. Have you a passport? I've never left Kerry, he says. Have you a driver's license? He says, all I ever drive is a tractor, he says. She says, we'll have to do this the old way. If you don't mind, unbuttoning your shirt and showing me your chest hair, and if it's the right colour grey, we'll stamp it. Mickey Con didn't know what way to go, and he started undressing in front of her, and so she stamped him and back home to Mara. So Mara saw him again. She says, I'll say nothing now again. So when he goes, Mara, he says, I got the pension. She goes, well done, Mickey Con. He says, but they made me undress in front of him inside in the room. They made me unbutton my shirt and take off my top and show my chest hair. She says, pity you didn't drop the pants, we'd have got the disability. And that's the way it was there. But things were hard and things were tough growing up. Things were hard. There were 17 of us in the family. 17 of us in the one family, I say. And in fact, there were 17 children who used to sleep in the one room at night. In fact, we used to sleep in the one bed. So we were stacked on top of each other like turf. So we were stacked up on top of each other like turf, which wasn't so bad, but the bottom 6 were bedwetters, you see. So I learned to swim before I learned to walk, you see. And I'll never forget on my 10th birthday, my mother said to me, she says, Mickey Khan, she says, what end would you like to sleep in tonight? I said, the shallow end, ma'am. But things were tough. I remember for Christmas, one Christmas, all we got was a packet of batteries. And they weren't even included. But things were tough and things were hard. But I'll never forget, there were 2 old codgers. 2 old codgers used to come into the pub, you see, and there was a grand local pub. There was a grand local pub, and the publicans being greedy bastards decided he'd close down and renovate the pub. And he left 400 men in the village homeless while he was doing the job. And he brought an architect down from Dublin, and he told them that to create space, the best way would be to put a mirror behind the bar. And a mirror in that, and you'll create space. So the opening night, 2 old codgers came in, Mikey and Connie, you see, and they packed themselves down in the corner. And they were looking, you see, at the mirror behind the bar. They had never seen a mirror before. In their entire life, they had never, ever seen a mirror. When they used to shave, they used to stand opposite each other and describe it. So the 2 boys sat down, you see, and they were looking across at each other. And Mikey says, not alone, he says, had they renovated the place? He says, haven't they extended it as well? Isn't there another room behind the room, you see, looking at the mirror? Jesus Christ, says Connie, you're right, he says. How do you get a room behind there? He says, and there's 2 fellas over there, they look fierce familiar. Jesus Christ, you're right. He says, one fella looks like your brother in America. And the other fella looks like your father when he was a young fella. Jesus Christ, he says. He says, do you know what? He says, I'm going to go over there and buy them a pint. And no sooner than I got up, and he says, sit down. He says, they're coming over to buy us one. That's the way it was.